I'm a very simple person. I don't understand honing, I don't understand magical capacity, I don't really understand integrity. I would really just love to have a pick that when I want to dig, it would just dig. Nothing super complicated. All of that being said, now that we have it, let's go mining. So hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Enigmatica 6. How are you guys doing today? How's life? I forgot to say expert. Some of you very observant viewers might have noticed that the main thing that I was looking for was iron. And apparently by using Cinnabar we're ore tripling. That's great. The reason that I was looking for iron, or actually also tin, is that today we need to make 4 stacks of machine frames. Why? Good question. There is a very painful recipe for making a machine frame from RF tools, and well, I just want to do it once. So we're going to make 2 stacks of them. And in order to make 2 stacks of them, we need 4 stacks of machine frames from thermal expansion. You know, I just said that I got a ton of iron. Apparently my ton of iron is enough in order to make 2 stacks. I need 4 stacks. Mountains are the best place. You get huge veins. What the? I have an idea what you are. What the hell are you? Joanna the Angry. Can I kill you? That was probably a very bad idea. I think it's a boss from Apotheosis. Okay, I'm gonna die. Finally. You have a shield. So do you guys remember those giant structures which we saw, I don't know, a few episodes ago? They're amazing. Look at all those books. And prismarine. Pristine quality prismarine. Not the garbage one. I have a feeling it's easier to climb down than to climb up. This is so cool. We should have lived here. You know, from a looting perspective, it's not great, but I'm assuming the best loot is the building itself. It's made out of bricks, and there are bookshelves everywhere. Other than that, I did not find anything of interest except a spawner for witches. Oh, it's in my inventory. This one. So that is 32 stacks of iron. That was actually a lot. I should probably also make 1 more stack for personal uses. But anyways, you guys get the gist. It goes inside the assembly line, and we are going to get rough machine frame top. What does that mean? I have no idea. And even though I have no idea what it does, I do know that if you put it inside the thermopneumatic processing plant, and actually pay attention to how much heat it requires, it should give you coated machine frame top. I still have no idea what it means. And just FYI, there is no bottom. That was just 1 stack, I'm waiting for the 2nd stack to get ready. But, even though there is no bottom, there is a base. And if we drop the base, with the top, and some invar plates, we're going to get rough machine frame. You would think that we're done. No, of course not. The rough machine frame has to go inside the assembly line, so that we get the actual machine frame. Obviously the machine frame is going to be used in order to make the RF tools machine, but the main reason that we want it is the centrifuge. Essentially for honeycomb, and well, that's the recipe. I'm a really good customer. What do you have to sell? Peripheral casing. First off, it's a miracle that I could pronounce it, so we're gonna buy it. Crocodile egg. Why not? Thank you, my dear source of leather. I should probably cut now. But do you think that was the only thing I had to craft? No, of course not. Otherwise this is not expert mode. I had to assemble a few PCBs, craft a few stacks of empty PCBs, craft some power cores, which is used in a bunch of recipes, but long story short, we need it for the metallurgic infuser. And during this entire time that I have been doing all this work, I'm casually ignoring this thing. Capacitors is also something that we need all the time, so yeah, I also got some capacitors. Also, I just noticed that you should not drop more than 16 items on the conveyor belt. It will get stuck unless I make it like, I don't know, 200 blocks long. This is why you should not make singularities using create. Also, considering the fact that our main goal in life is to make a Nitro Reactor, well, we do need a lot of blazing crystals. So we need a crazy amount of blazing fiber. So if I give it half a stack of plastic in order to make capacitors, see what happens. We're stuck. Cause there are tons of items on the conveyor belt and well, they have no place to go. I don't really know if there is an actual solution for this or not, but this is a huge problem because if we want to do autocrafting and I order like 200 capacitors, this is not gonna work. So I think here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a buffer chest. It's not going to do anything, but just in case everything gets stuck, it will go inside the chest. If you have a better solution, I'll be really happy to hear it. Okay, so let us get back to the main task at hand, which is the Nitro Reactor. Again, I would like to mention that this looks like a very horrible recipe, but I don't think we're going to run into any problems. I have already harvested a few wither skeleton skulls, and my sword is actually really good for this because you're guaranteed one head, and you also sometimes get a bonus head from looting. I also killed a few withers manually in our wither killing chamber and made a few nitro crystals. So at this very moment we have 156. The recipe for the reactor is a 7x5, so this should be good. And let us check what items we have. We have the 4 casings, we have fluid pipes, fluid cell frames, advanced connector, advanced red connector, advanced green connector. I know, it's very annoying, but the controller for XNet, 2 green cables, 2 red cables, and 2 normal cables. We also got a nitro energy cell from a quest, so there you go. And we also need a heat pipe. You can't really see that, but it's there. Trust me. With the resources that we had, I already made an extra nitro energy cell, I made a fernator, and I also crafted the nitro crystals. So we put them in as well, and we are not missing that much. It's just 3 thermogenerators, which requires the thermoplate, which is not that bad. But it also requires the heat pipe, which I really hate it. And we also need the entropic gateway. It's also not that bad except for the shard. Do we have anything from Shu? No. It's okay, let us get crafting and see what happens. Well, actually I think this time we got lucky. It was on the second try. Another thing that I have noticed is that you can't really fully automate this guy because you have to make sure that you get some of the shards. For example, Geb, I know that we need it. Yes, for the Rune of Autumn. And Autumn's got shard, we also need it for Eternal Crystals. So if we have them, we better not use them. Also, as a quest reward, I did manage to get a Jar of Voiding. So that means I just need some ruins. That's it. Since we have 4 shards and eventually we are going to need more than 1 nitro reactor, I thought maybe we should make 2 sets. The issue is that when I summoned lightning in order to make a jar of voiding, it voided everything? Is that the wrong kind of lightning? I was really counting on Arsnevu for automation. We try this again. Yeah, so the lightning from the book does not count. I guess let us see if the recipe works. Yeah, it does. Very good, very good. We're just missing 2 nitro capacitors, and for that I need to make a new badge. Hello, beautiful. This sword is great. It one-shot kills every single skeleton. Oh wait a minute, the reason I can't craft it is because of you. I didn't need to kill the wither. Okay, so make me 1 more set. Thank you. While this stupid thing is causing me some problems, I thought I'll show you something fun. So, in order to make a nitro reactor, you're going to need 3 of these thermogenerators. How do you make them? Well, you're going to need a magmator, and then you're going to need a thermogenerator. So again, you have to make another magmator and some thermogenerators in order to make a better thermogenerator. So that was really fun. It's always an inconvenience. Anyhow, here is the final one. And if I have not messed up anything, we should get a nitro reactor. Well, the recipe is valid. That's a good sign. Gives you like 36, yes, okay. I thought maybe I have to do this several times. So this is just for testing purposes. I want to know how much power this guy is going to generate. So uraninite, coal, redstone, ice, and a bucket of water. 500,000 RF per tick. Holy! That's great. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in business. Oh, and by the way, I made the door. It's nice. Okay, so we do have a few decisions to make. At first I thought we were going to expand our base this way and we are going to have a control room, but the problem is that this is our only flat and usable area. And further down the quest line, we're actually going to need that real estate. So I thought instead for our control room, we're going to go into the mountain. I basically need around 6 chunks and well, we can do it underground. The only issue is I have to dig. Okay, do you remember the door that I said looks nice? Don't use it. The world got corrupted, we had a crash, and I had to revert back to 6 hours earlier. And unfortunately I spent those 6 hours trying to clean up this place and well, now all of that is gone. Even this place is a mess, which I actually cleaned it. Obviously I cheated the reactor in, I did throw away the nitro crystals that I used in order to make it, and also this one. Anyhow, in the belly of this mountain that you see in front of you is going to be our new base of operations, meaning that our refined storage system is going to be here. So my plan is that we are going to have a few sides of crafters. Crafter tier 1 is not expensive, but for the iron crafter we're going to need first off advanced control circuit, which is not gonna happen anytime soon, and also for the neural processor, well, It's not as easy as you would think. So for the moment we're just going to start with a lot of crafters, and I was hoping that the drives are going to be here on either side, and of course the terminals are going to be here, reactors on the back. So yeah, it's going to look something like this, and along the walls we are going to have our machines which are going to do the auto-crafting. Also, some of you guys were suggesting that I can use a universal cable in order to power everything, and I would like to mention that it doesn't really work. I tried it with solar panels, and yes, the maximum extraction rate is 3000 RF. You can extend it and have a crazy capacity, but it will not extract more than 3000 RF. I'm also not exactly sure how much power we're going to need, so maybe we're going to have 4 Nitro Reactors in this room. Cause even though quantum entangled porters and flux networks is far away, we can use entangled blocks, to send power. But let me assemble the machines and I'll be right back. Why am I getting the quests now? No matter how many machines I hook up to the refined storage system, our lives is not going to improve. Unless I hook up this guy. At first I thought we were going to go with the network receiver and transmitter, but unfortunately the recipe is not so great. So I was thinking for the moment instead we go with ender chest. The recipe is not that great as well, but these are far more useful and well, they don't consume any RF. This is also one of the worst recipes ever, and I will explain to you why. So last episode I showed you that we need the end fiber in order to make an ender chest. The problem is you need something called shadow berries, which you will find it in the end. In the Shadowlands, which is my favorite biome. The problem is it takes ages to grow. I had 1 stack of phytogrow and I only managed to get 6. You see? It took 9. And for some very weird reason I also have a feeling that you can't really automate its harvest because right click doesn't work. You have to break it. Anyways, let us see if it works. It did work, right? Yes, we got 2. That is 1 ender chest. That is another ender chest. And you guys get the gist. Let me get more. Yes, so welcome to autumn. We have beautiful weather. I have already forgotten which ritual does what, but I'm assuming this is the correct one. Yes, thank you, thank you. We have the satchel. What does it do? Ooh, okay, that is a big satchel. Kind of redundant when you have a backpack. Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to bore you to death. I have enough material in order to make 4 ender chests. So for the moment I did make 2 ender chests and 1 import boss. We need to have 1 entangled block, which I did make a recipe for it. And I think here's how we're going to set it up. So this is our input chest, this is our output chest. What we're gonna do is that we're going to link this input chest to our entangled block at our base. You can see the barrel. And then a crafter runs into it. Then over here at our output chest, oh, I have this. It's okay. We're going to have an ender chest. And if I one day manage to find the controller, oh yes, it's over here. Instead of inserting into that barrel, we just insert into the ender chest. So let us see if we can actually craft something. We're going to make a basic processor, which you don't know how to make this, which is fine. Not exact. And if I put it inside the crafter, can we order 64? Let us not go that crazy, we order 10. And remember, we have nothing in the system. Why don't you input? You know, it's actually inputting, but it's so fast, it's invisible to the naked eye. It's in the ender chest. So basically the crafter is going to send the ingredients into this barrel, which is our input chest, then the output goes inside the ender chest. Which basically means we can import it into the system. Okay, so it has been a few hours later and I can assure you, it has not been the best of times. And if you're wondering why the hell am I doing this manually, well, I had a system for it, the backup ruined it. And I'm really not going to rebuild it in the same episode. Anyhow, even though I have grinded for a very long time, we still have a lot of issues. Therefore, let me enlighten you with darkness. Oh, our friend is back. I thought I killed you. Because he was aggravating the creepers. Let us talk about the problem. So, I did make more disk drives. I did make more storage cells. The problem is that we're getting resources faster than I can make storage parts. Because I can only make 4K storage parts. And they're garbage. So I had to swallow my pride. And we have these. I really hate having external storage with storage drawers, but we have 2 of them. Because at this point of the game, I don't really have a choice. I thought by grinding this much, we should be good to go for a while. Unfortunately, no. Our main problem is logistics. Meaning that yes, we have power, we have refined storage, but literally the only thing which is connected is the pressure chamber, nothing else. Essentially what I'm trying to say is that I'm going to need more ender chests, I'm going to need ender tanks, and I'm going to need entangled blocks. And not just one of them, I need at least half a stack. So this is why I'm harvesting living wood, bone mealing the only berry that I hate in my life, and trying my best to make different colors of fiber. Is that 64? No? Oh, I missed the bucket. Yes. 1 stack. Oh, actually, by the way, there is one positive thing in our life. Do you remember when I was talking about the nutrients? And then I mentioned I cannot find a food which gives us all the 5 nutrients. It turns out I'm an idiot. Somebody suggested I use the culinary station. So basically I can mix bread, kangaroo meat, source berries, Oreos and carrots to make a horrible sandwich. But at least my nutrients are balanced. These were 0, so it's growing. So the things that I'm going to do are going to take a few hours, and this is why you're not going to receive this episode anytime soon. But here's a list. I just realized I can upgrade our apiaries to tier 3, and that is going to give us a honeycomb block instead of a honeycomb. So this is much more efficient, and we're going to do that. Another thing is, I think we have enough infused sun metal in order to make a few centrifuges. This is why crafting stuff in stacks and stacks is very useful. So a centrifuge is 3x4x3. So 36 blocks? Yes, 36 blocks. And then I need extra ones for the controller. Look at the only items I'm missing. A smooth stone and a piston. So here is the controller. And officially, ladies and gentlemen, we have a multi-block centrifuge. You look weird, but you work. Okay. The good thing about this guy is that instead of doing 1 recipe at a time, it can do 3. And it's significantly faster. It's just that we're not getting anything. Okay, I am going to increase the number of apiaries, I am going to make 1 more centrifuge, and I am going to do my best in order to make half a stack of the satchels so that I can make ender tanks and ender chests. Also as much as entangled blocks as I can. So see you in a few hours. Have fun! Actually, before I make a cut for a few hours, I just wanted to show you something. So I did set up patterns in order to make a metallurgic infuser, and it took a lot of patterns. Well, so let us order one. We can't craft it, we're missing 32 buckets of plastic, but that's not very important, because you know, I have a tank over here. But generally, in order to craft it, these are the resources that you need. It's crazy. Really crazy. Also, when I was making everything, apparently there is something wrong with the blazing rod. You have to put it in manually. Because you see, this one is telling you Ep12's power. If you come here, it will tell you recipe by Enigmatica mod. So there is a problem somewhere. We just take the plastic and order the infuser. This is crazy. I guess by the time I'm done, this is also done. Hello! I'm still not done with the grind, but I thought I should give you a small update. So I made, not that one, this one. I made a lot of satchels, also here, and I used 2 of them in order to make ender tanks, a ton of corporeal sparks, and also some of the ruins, and then I ran into a very small problem. That's actually not the problem. So you might notice that in order to make different ruins, we're going to need different god shards. For example, for spring, we are going to need Osiris. For summer, we're going to need Ra. And well, doing everything manually was not very fun, so I decided to have a very teeny tiny automation for it, which could be slightly weird. Dr. Rage on his channel when he was playing Enigmatica 6 has a very nice contraption using Create and also the God Forges in order to duplicate the God Shards so that he can also get his armor. Mine is a teeny tiny bit different because essentially I have to make sure that I get the God Shards that I want. For example, at this very moment I need Ra and I need Osiris. In this modpack we are very far away from getting a digital miner, and therefore getting Nebu is not as easy as you would think. Although one of you guys actually gave me a very nice solution, which we might try next episode. So for us at this very moment, it doesn't really make any sense for the system to go on and on and on. We need to preserve some resources. So I have an engineer's crafting table over here because, you know, it can hold the recipes and it has a small inventory. I can craft the God Forged blocks. Breaking them is easy peasy because we have Vein Miner. If I get the artifact that I want, that's good. If not, I can put it inside the barrel. It will go inside the God Forges, it will be smelted, and whenever it's done, all the shards will go inside the barrel, which I can also pick up the shards that I want. If I'm not happy with the result, I can rinse and repeat, which 90% of the time, I'm not happy with the result. That's obvious. And this is why I actually had to make an ender tank, because you know, we needed lava here. Do I have anything in the barrels? Okay, so it's not a great automation, but it does most of the job for me. In other news, our metallurgic infuser is ready. So I guess our first order of business is to make some infused alloys. It's not a horrible recipe, you just need energized steel. You know, every night I hear a creeper. What the hell are you doing? Are you digging down to bedrock? I have killed you once, you came back because of the backup, so we do this again. So I shall go back to grinding. Okay, so it has been a while and it's actually the next day in the afternoon. Hello. I have been really busy and unfortunately most of the things that I did are not really visible to you except a few bits and pieces. You should remember that most of the grind that I had to do was to make entangled blocks, which requires a bunch of stuff. the pouch in order to make ender tanks and ender chests, and also a few other gizmos which I will show you later. So one problem that we have in this mod pack is that flux networks is really not gonna happen because it does require antimatter. Another way of transferring power wirelessly would be to use a quantum entangler boarder. Unfortunately, the recipe is not that much better. Essentially, you need atomic alloy, which requires plutonium. And that was not the worst part, there are worse parts. So over here I do have a substitute which is going to expand later on, because you know, we need much more machines, but essentially what I'm doing is that I have some nitro capacitors entangled and well, I'm providing them power using our reactor. And these are the item frames from Enigmatica. It will show me where the power is going. So for example, this is a pulverizer, and I would know that the power is actually coming here into this nitro capacitor. This one has bitumen, so I know that it's powering our oil processing plant, which is somewhere around here? Yes, here. This used to be the place that we were processing ores, now it's dedicated to oil. So we are making refined fuel, it goes inside the tank, and it is powering our compressors. And now that we have access to ender tanks, I removed everything from Enigmatica inside this chest, and well, we're going to assemble it somewhere else. On the other hand, our ore processing has been moved here, to our B area. We have 3 additional apiaries, they don't have any bees, but I was just preparing for the future. And we have 3 centrifuges, and we also have a lot of problems with potassium nitrate. There is an ore dictionary problem, XNet cannot recognize it. Anyhow, this might look like an overkill, but I'm just preparing for the future. Because I really don't want to expand it later on. Oh, and by the way, I enchanted my staff of traveling, and the range is amazing. We can go everywhere. So that was ore processing, oil processing, and the power section, but the main thing that I did is actually down here. We have a garbage elevator. This is the part where we are connecting different parts of the base. Each of these entangled blocks, which has a crafter for autocrafting, is connected to a different machine. For example, this is the enchanting apparatus, this is the natural altar. And if I remove every single sun metal here and we order, I don't know, 10 ingots, the enchanting apparatus should start crafting automatically. The result will be smelted and then goes inside our natural altar, which is also automatic. Oh, this one died. Okay. And anyways, the result goes back into our refined storage system. Those few blocks which took me hours to make are going to help me do this. 4K storage cells on autocrafting. So the assembly line and the pressure chamber are going to craft the parts that we are going to need, and refined storage is going to take care of the rest. My biggest problem at this very moment is to automate occultism because, well, first off, the books are an issue. Actually, there is a very nice example in the ender chest. So whenever you craft something using a soul in occultism, it's going to have a name. I'm not going to read that name, it's a weird name, but that is the name of the genie which is present in the satchel. The book that you use in order to make the satchel has a different name, and whenever you want to craft that book, it will have a different name. And you might notice after we have crafted everything, they even have a different name. So there is no way refined storage can do that. Also, I have a feeling that the ritual also voids some of the items, so that's also a nice thing to have. But regardless of the problems, we are at a point in the game where we have power, where we have autocrafting, we have wireless transfer of resources and energy, so we are at a very good place. Meaning that from now on, we don't really need to grind, we can have some fun and do stupid things. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. I have to release it someday. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.